The whip crack sounded like wood striking a drum. I stood 20 paces away, the leather satchel on my shoulder heavy with $847. Every cent from 3 years of selling cattle, enough to pay the bank, enough to keep the ranch. But not enough to walk away when I saw 5 Apache women dying slowly on the hanging beam, upside down, hands bound, blood running from their noses into their hair, then dripping into the red mud below. One of them, the eldest, looked straight into my eyes. No begging, no pleading, just a look that said, "If you do nothing, you are the same as them." The sun beat down on Dust Ford's Slave Market Square with the kind of heat that made men mean and desperate. Flies swarmed thick around the hanging beam. The crowd pressed closer, some laughing, some placing bets on how long the women would last. A merchant in a stained vest stood on a wooden crate, his voice cutting through the afternoon air like a rusty saw. 5 prime Apache specimens, intact. No cooking, weaving, field work. Starting bid, $150 each. The crowd jeered. Someone threw a rock. It struck the youngest woman in the ribs. She did not cry out. That silence was worse than screaming. I had come to Dust Ford to sell 12 head of cattle. Simple transaction. Get the money. Pay the bank. Save the ranch that Sarah and little Thomas would have wanted me to keep. 3 years since the fever took them both. 3 years of working dawn to midnight just to keep their memory alive in every fence post and water trough. But memory is a strange thing. It does not just hold the dead. It holds the living you used to be. My hand went to my right wrist without thinking. The scar there was 5 years old, raised and thick. A scar that matched the one I could barely see on the eldest woman's wrist through the blood and rope burn. A scar that should not exist on anyone except those the Chiricahua Apache claimed as family. The memory came fast and sharp. 5 years ago, the burning village. The woman dragging me from the flames even though I wore the uniform of the men who set those flames. Her cutting into both our wrists with a bone knife. Her voice saying words in Apache I did not understand then. You live. You pay. Then she pushed me out of the burning village, saved a man who had led the raiders to her people. I never knew why. The merchant's voice rose higher. Do I hear 200? 200 for the lot? They are strong. Look at those shoulders. Good for 20 years of work at least. I opened the leather satchel. My hands shook. Inside, neat stacks of bills, silver certificates, gold coins, everything I had. The ranch house flashed through my mind. Rotting porch, sagging roof, fence that would not last another winter. The bank notice nailed to my door, red ink screaming, "Final notice." Then I looked at the 5 women again. Blood, bruises. But their eyes never bowed. The merchant caught me staring. His smile was all teeth and no warmth. You want to buy one, cowboy? Go ahead. Pick your favorite. I will give you a good price. I walked forward. The crowd parted. Silence spread like spilled water. I dumped the entire satchel at the merchant's feet. Bills and coins scattered across the dust. The sound of metal hitting dirt rang like bells at a funeral. All 5, I said. My voice came out low, steady, like I was ordering coffee instead of buying human lives. I take all 5. The merchant stared. Then he laughed. A wet, bubbling sound. You are insane. $847 for 5 Apache women about to die? They cannot even breed anymore. Too old. I do not need them to breed, I said. I need them to live. The merchant's smile died. He looked at the money, looked at me, looked at the money again. Math was simple. He probably paid $50 for all 5. This was nearly 17 times his investment. Deal, he said. The crowd murmured, some angry, some confused. One man spat near my boot. Traitor, he muttered. I did not respond, just waited while the merchant cut the women down. They fell hard. No one caught them. I stepped forward, but the eldest woman held up a hand. Stop. Do not touch. So I stepped back. She got to her feet first, then helped the others. One by one they stood, swaying, bleeding, but standing. Can you walk? I asked. The eldest woman looked at me for a long moment, then nodded once. Good, I said. We have 20 miles to go. I untied the horses from the post. 5 horses. I had brought them to carry supplies back. Now they would carry something else. The journey back to my ranch took 6 hours. Not one word was spoken. I rode ahead. The 5 women followed. I could hear their breathing, hard and painful, like every breath cost them something. The sun dropped toward the western mountains, turning the sky the color of old blood. By the time we reached my property, darkness was settling in like a blanket over a corpse. The ranch looked smaller than I remembered. One main house, wooden and weathered, a barn that leaned slightly to the left. Corrals that held nothing but dust and memories. This place used to hold life. Sarah's laugh, Thomas running between the fence posts. Now it just held silence. I dismounted, tied my horse, then stood there unsure. The 5 women climbed down on their own, slow, careful. They stood in a line, still bound at the wrists. I had not untied them, part fear, part respect. Let them decide when they trusted me enough. My name is Jude Calhoun, I said. This is my ranch. There is water inside, food, bandages. You can use whatever you need. I will sleep on the porch. The eldest woman stepped forward. In the fading light, I could see her face clearly for the first time. Maybe 42, lines around her eyes that spoke of years squinting into sun and sorrow, a mouth that had forgotten how to smile, but remembered how to survive. Why? She asked. One word, heavy as a stone. I could have lied, could have said something noble. Instead, I told the truth. 5 years ago, a Chiricahua woman saved my life, pulled me from a fire, cut her wrist and mine. I rolled up my sleeve, showing the scar. Made me family even though I did not deserve it. When I saw that mark on your wrist today, I knew. The debt is not paid. Something changed in her eyes. Not softness, but recognition. The woman who saved you, she said slowly. What did she look like? Older than you, gray in her hair, voice like gravel, hands that could set a bone or break a neck. The woman's breath caught, just for a second. Then she steadied. That was my mother, she said. Ayana, she died in the fire you speak of. The words hit like fists. I knew she had died. I had seen the village burn, but knowing and hearing are different things. I am sorry, I said. Sorry does not bring her back. No, it does not. We stood there. The desert wind picked up, carrying the smell of sage and distant rain that would never come. You were there, she said. Not a question, a statement. The day my village burned, you were with the men who did it. I did not look away. Yes? Did you kill anyone? No, but I led them there. I was their scout. I thought we were chasing raiders. By the time I realized what they really wanted, it was too late. I tried to stop them. That is when they turned on me, set me on fire. Your mother pulled me out. Why would she save you? I do not know. Maybe she saw something in me worth saving. Maybe she just could not watch another person burn. I never got to ask. The woman was silent for a long time. Then she spoke again. My name is Shyla. These are my sisters, not by blood, but by survival. She gestured to the others. They stepped forward one by one. Tallulah, a woman maybe 38 with eyes like flint, hard, unyielding, the kind of eyes that had watched someone she loved die. Elu, younger, 35 perhaps, something broken in her face that had never healed right. Nita, 31, thin as wire, moved like she expected attack from any direction. My son Keel is 8. He is among the children. Later, when we reached the 15 children, I saw him. A boy with Nita's sharp eyes, quiet, watchful. He did not run to his mother, just stood and waited until she came to him. Then he held her hand and did not let go. Mika, the youngest, 27, still had tears on her face, the only one who had not stopped crying since I cut them down. You know our names now, Shyla said. What happens next? You rest, I said. You heal. Then, if you want to leave, I will give you horses and supplies." Just like that? Just like that. Shyla studied me, looking for the lie, the trap, the hidden cost. She did not find it because it was not there. "We cannot go back to our tribe," she said quietly. "Why not?" "Because 4 days ago the Crimson Riders attacked our village. They took 15 children. 5 of them are ours. The others are orphans we were protecting. The Riders are taking them to Mexico to sell. If we do not catch them in 6 days, the children are gone forever." The world stopped moving. 6 days. 15 children. 200 miles across desert that killed men in their prime. "You were hunting the Riders when they caught you," I said. "Yes, they ambushed us, sold us in Dust Ford while the children kept moving south." I looked at the 5 women, beaten, starved, barely able to stand. And they wanted to cross 200 miles of hell to save children from men who made devils look kind. "I will go with you," I said. Shyla's eyes widened, just slightly. "Why would you do that?" "Because your mother gave me a life I did not earn. Maybe I can use it to save 15 more." "You would leave your ranch? Let the bank take it?" "Ranch is already gone. I used every dollar I had to buy you. Bank will take it whether I am here or not." I looked at the house. Sarah and Thomas were not in there. They were nowhere, just ghosts in my head that did not need a building to haunt me. "Better it goes to something that matters. You do not even know these children." "No, but I know what it is like to lose a child. My son was 4 when the fever took him. I was not there. I was in town drinking. When I came home, he was already cold. So was my wife." The words came out flat, like reading someone else's story. "I cannot save my son, but maybe I can save someone else's." The 5 women looked at each other. Some silent conversation passed between them. Then Shyla turned back to me. "If we do this, you need to understand something. The Crimson Riders are led by a man named Silas Drummond. He is the one who ordered your village burned 5 years ago. He knows you, and if he sees you, he will kill you slowly. Let him try." "You do not understand. Silas does not just kill. He makes it last, makes you watch as he destroys everything you love first. Then, when you are begging for death, he keeps you alive a little longer, just for sport." "I understand," I said, "and I am still going." Shyla nodded slowly. "Then we leave at dawn. 6 days to cover ground they covered in 4. We will have to ride through the night. No stops except to water the horses. No fires, no rest. Can you do that?" "Yes." "Can you kill?" I hesitated, then nodded. "If I have to." "You will have to." She turned toward the house. "We will tend our wounds, eat, then sleep for 3 hours. That is all the time we have." The 5 women walked into my house. I heard water running, quiet voices, the sound of cloth tearing for bandages. I sat on the porch, put my rifle across my knees, stared out at the darkness. Somewhere out there, 15 children were being dragged toward a fate worse than death. And I was going to stop it, or die trying. For the first time in 3 years, dying did not sound like the worst option. I did not sleep. Neither did they. Through the thin wooden walls, I could hear whispers in Apache, a language I understood better than I let on. 3 months living in a Chiricahua village before the massacre had taught me enough to follow a conversation, enough to know they were arguing about me. Tallulah's voice came harsh and cutting. "We cannot trust him. He is one of them. He led the killers to our people. He also paid $847 to save us," Elu said quietly. "That is not nothing. Money means nothing to the guilty. It is how they buy forgiveness without earning it." "Then what would you have us do?" Shyla's voice carried authority, the kind that came from being the one who made hard choices while others argued. "Leave him here? Find the Riders ourselves? We are 5 women with rope burns and empty stomachs. The Riders are 17 men with guns and horses. We need him." "We need a weapon," Tallulah corrected, "not a companion." "Perhaps he can be both," Nita spoke up, her voice thin and careful. "My husband was Apache. He led soldiers to our village for $50. sold out his own people for a bag of coins. This man is white. He spent $847 on strangers. I do not understand him, and what I do not understand, I do not trust. You do not have to trust him, Shyla said. You just have to use him. Silence fell. Then Mika's voice, softer than the others, broken by tears she was trying to swallow. My daughter is 6 years old. Her name is Kai. She has not spoken since her father died. If we do not reach her in 6 days, I will never hear her voice. I do not care if we trust the white man or not. I just want my baby back. The argument ended there. What could anyone say to that? I stood up from the porch and walked to the well, drew up cold water, drank until my throat stopped burning. The night sky stretched above me, stars so thick they looked like spilled salt. Sarah used to say the stars were all the people who died with words left unsaid. If that was true, the sky should be twice as crowded. Behind me, the door opened. I did not turn around, just listened to the footsteps. Light, careful, not Tallulah. She would have walked heavier, not Mika. She was still inside crying. You understand Apache? Shyla's voice came from my left. She stood 10 feet away, arms crossed. In the starlight, the bruises on her face looked like shadows. You have been listening. Yes. How much did you hear? All of it? And? Tallulah is right not to trust me. Nita is right to compare me to her husband. And Mika is right that none of it matters if we do not reach those children. Shyla stepped closer. She moved like someone who had been hurt too many times to ever be careless again. Every step measured, every breath controlled. Show me your wrist, she said. I rolled up my sleeve. The scar caught the moonlight. Raised tissue in the shape of a broken star. The Chiricahua mark for family claimed through blood debt. Sheila pulled up her own sleeve. Her scar was identical, but older, deeper, like it had been cut and recut several times. My mother gave you that mark the night she died, Shyla said. Yes. Do you know what it means? It means she claimed me as family, bound by blood. It means more than that. Shyla's finger traced the scar on my wrist. Her touch was clinical, not gentle, not cruel, just factual. It means you owe her 2 lives, your life, which she saved, and her life, which you could not save. The debt does not end until both are repaid. How do I repay a dead woman? You do not. Shyla looked up at me. Her eyes were black in the darkness, endless. You repay her children, her people, her legacy. That is what the mark means. You are bound to us until the debt is clear. Then I guess I am bound for a long time. Yes, you are. She let go of my wrist, stepped back. But here is what you need to understand, Jude Calhoun. I do not forgive you for leading the killers to my village. I do not forgive you for my mother's death. I do not forgive you for the 47 people who burned because you were too weak to stop it. I do not ask you to. Good, because I will not. But I will let you help us. And when this is over, when the children are safe, we will decide if the debt is paid, or if you owe us more. Fair enough? Shyla turned to walk back to the house, then stopped. One more thing. If you betray us, if you lead the riders to us the way you led the soldiers to my village, I will not kill you quickly. I will make it last. Are we clear? Yes. Good. Get some rest. We leave in 2 hours. She went inside. I stayed by the well, staring at my reflection in the water, distorted, broken, a face I barely recognized anymore. 2 hours later, the 5 women emerged. They had washed the blood off, braided their hair back, wrapped their worst wounds in strips of cloth torn from my spare shirts. They looked like warriors preparing for battle, which I suppose they were. We saddled the horses in silence. I gave them the best mounts, took the oldest mare for myself. She was slow but steady. Good enough. As the sun started to break over the eastern ridge, painting the desert in shades of gold and red, we rode out. 6 riders heading south into country that did not care if we lived or died. The first day, no one spoke. We rode hard, stopped only to water the horses, ate jerky and hardtack in the saddle. By noon, the heat was a living thing. By sunset, 3 of the women were swaying. Mika nearly fell off her horse twice. I caught her the second time. She flinched away from my touch like I had burned her. "Sorry," I said. She did not respond, just gripped the saddle horn tighter and kept riding. That night we made camp in a dry wash. No fire, just blankets and cold stars. Shyla assigned watches. She took first, Tallulah second. I took third without being asked. During my watch, Elu came and sat beside me. She was the quiet one, rarely spoke unless spoken to, but tonight she had something to say. "You said you lost a son," she began. "Yes." "How?" "Fever. 3 years ago. He was 4. "What was his name?" "Thomas." "That is a good name." Elu wrapped her arms around her knees, stared at nothing. "I have a daughter, Ayita. She is 10 now. She has not spoken in 5 years. "What happened?" "She was in our village the day it burned, the Chiricahua village, 5 years ago. She was 5 then, hid in a cellar while the men killed everyone above her. When I came back, the village was ash. I found her in that cellar, alive. But she has not said a word since." My stomach turned cold. "She was there the day of the raid?" "Yes." I remembered, a child in a cellar. I had found her during the chaos, planned to pull her out. But then the fire spread too fast. I closed the cellar door to keep the smoke out, told myself someone would come back for her, told myself she would be fine. "I saw her," I said quietly. "That day. I found the cellar. I closed the door to protect her from the smoke. Then I left." Elu looked at me, really looked. "You saved her?" "I do not know. I just closed a door. Your people must have found her after." "No. The cellar was locked from outside. She was trapped for 2 days before I came back. She nearly died of thirst." The words hit like stones. I had locked her in, thinking I was helping. Instead, I nearly killed her. "I am sorry," I said. "Sorry does not change what happened. But maybe this does. Maybe saving her from the riders will balance the scale." "She is one of the 15 children?" "Yes," I nodded. Did not trust myself to speak. Elu stood up, started to walk away, then paused. "Jude?" "Yes?" "Thank you for closing that door. Even if it trapped her, the smoke would have killed her faster." She walked back to her bedroll. I sat alone with the stars and the weight of 5 years of consequences. The second day was harder. We pushed through country that had not seen rain in months. The ground cracked like old leather. Horses started to lag. By mid-afternoon, we found the first sign. Nita dismounted near a cluster of dried mesquite. She knelt, touched the ground, came away with dust and something else, a piece of torn cloth, blue, small. Tallulah took it from her hands. Her face went white. "This is my son's shirt. I made it for him 2 months ago." "They are ahead of us," Nita said. "Maybe 18 hours. The tracks are fresh." "How many horses?" Shyla asked. Nita studied the ground. 17, plus 1 wagon, heavy load. The children are in the wagon," Elu said quietly. We rode faster after that, pushed the horses until they were blowing hard, found another campsite at dusk. This one still had warm ashes and something else. Mika found it. A small bracelet made of bone and sinew. She picked it up with shaking hands, started to cry without sound, just tears running down her face like rain on glass. "My daughter made this," she whispered. "She wore it every day. She was here. She was right here." Shyla put a hand on Mika's shoulder. "Then we are close. We will find her. What if we are too late? What if they hurt her? What if she is scared and calling for me, and I am not there? Then we ride faster." That night no one slept. We just sat in silence, listening to the desert breathe. Somewhere out there, 15 children were being hauled toward Mexico like cargo, and we were 6 people trying to stop 17 armed men. The odds were not good, but odds had never stopped a mother before. On the 3rd day, just after dawn, we saw them, a dust cloud on the horizon, moving south, slow and steady. "That is them," Nita said. She had the best eyes, could spot a hawk from 2 miles away. 17 riders, 1 wagon. "How far?" Shyla asked. 5 miles, maybe 6. We had closed the gap, from 4 days behind to half a day. But we were also running out of time. 2 more days until they crossed into Mexico. 2 more days until the children disappeared forever. "We cannot catch them by riding," Tallulah said. "They will see us coming. They will kill the children before we get close." "Then we do not chase them," Shyla said. "We go around, cut them off." "Where?" "Fort Desolation. It is an old army outpost 20 miles south, abandoned for years. If they follow the normal route to Mexico, they will stop there for the night. The fort has water, shelter. They will think they are safe." I felt my blood run cold. "Fort Desolation? You are sure?" "Yes, why?" "Because that is where I used to be stationed. 10 years ago. I know every inch of that place." I looked at Shyla. "Including the tunnel that leads into the cellar where they will keep the children." For the first time since I met her, Shyla smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a predator that just caught a scent. "Then we have a chance," she said. We rode through the afternoon and into the night, circled wide to avoid the rider's line of sight. By midnight, we reached the ridge overlooking Fort Desolation. The fort sat in a shallow valley, stone walls, wooden gates, guard towers at each corner. Firelight flickered inside. I counted shadows, 17 men, just like Nita said, and in the cellar, 15 children who did not know help was coming. "We go in 2 hours before dawn," Shyla said, "when they are asleep." "They will have guards posted," I said. "Then we kill the guards quietly. And if someone raises the alarm, then we kill them all." Tallulah looked at me. "Can you do that? Can you kill men you used to ride with?" I thought about Thomas, about the children in that cellar, about the debt I could never fully repay. "Yes," I said, "I can." Shyla laid out the plan. Tallulah and Elu would take the north tower, sniper positions, pick off guards from range. Nita and Mika would create a distraction at the west gate. Draw men out. Shyla and I would go through the tunnel. Free the children. "If we fail," Mika asked, "then the children die." "And so do we." Shyla looked at each of us in turn. "But we are not going to fail." We waited. 2 hours felt like 2 years. I checked my rifle, checked my revolver, checked my knife. Ran through the tunnel route in my head, left entrance behind the old stable. 30 yards of crawling. Stone stairs down, iron door at the bottom. If Silas Drummond had changed the locks, we were finished before we started. Finally the sky began to lighten, just barely. That deep blue before dawn when the world holds its breath. "Now," Shyla said. We moved. Tallulah and Elu climbed to their positions. I saw the first guard drop without a sound. Arrow through the throat, then the second. Rifle shot so quiet I barely heard it. Nita and Mika reached the west gate, started throwing rocks, yelling in Apache, making it sound like a dozen women instead of 2. Men poured out of the fort, shouting, grabbing weapons. Shyla and I ran for the tunnel entrance. Found it, still there, still open. We crawled through darkness. The tunnel smelled like old death and rat droppings. My shoulders scraped the walls. Shyla moved like smoke ahead of me. We reached the iron door. I tried the handle, locked. I pulled out a small pouch of gunpowder, wrapped it in cloth, stuffed it into the lock mechanism, lit the fuse. "Cover your ears," I said. The explosion was small but loud in the confined space. The lock shattered. The door swung open. Inside 15 children, huddled together, eyes wide with terror. A boy, maybe 14, stepped forward, tall for his age, angry eyes. "Who are you?" "Your mother sent us," Shyla said. The boy's face cracked. "Dakota?" Shyla asked. "Yes." "Your mother is Tallulah. She is here, fighting for you." Dakota looked at me. "And him?" "He is helping. He is white." "Yes." Dakota's hand went to a piece of broken wood. Not much of a weapon, but enough to show intent. "My father was killed by white men." "I know," I said quietly. I am sorry. Sorry does not bring him back. No, it does not. But it can still save you. Dakota stared at me, weighing, judging. Then he lowered the wood. Get us out of here. We moved fast, up the stairs, through the tunnel, out into the pre-dawn darkness. The children ran. Some cried, some were silent. All of them moved like ghosts, fleeing hell. We reached the ridge where the horses waited, started lifting children into saddles. Then I heard it. Hoofbeats, coming fast from the south, not from the fort, from behind us. I turned, saw them. 30 riders, torches burning, moving like a wall of fire and death. And at the front, on a black horse, a man I had not seen in 5 years. Silas Drummond, older, harder, scarred face twisted into something between rage and joy. Jude Calhoun, his voice carried across the desert like thunder. I thought you were dead. I stepped forward, put myself between him and the children. Disappointed, I called back. No. Silas stopped his horse 20 yards away. The 30 men behind him fanned out, surrounding us. I am glad. Killing you once was not enough. Now I get to do it again, slower this time. Shyla moved beside me, rifle raised. You want him? Go through us first. Silas looked at the 5 women, at the 15 children, at me. Then he laughed, a sound like breaking glass. This is perfect. The traitor returns with the savages he loves so much. We will hang you all, the children too. Make an example. No, I said, you will not. And what will stop me, Jude? You? 5 women? You are outnumbered 6 to 1. Maybe, but I know something you do not. What is that? I smiled, no joy in it, just certainty. I know you are looking for a boy, your son, the child you have been searching for 16 years. Silas went very still. What did you say? Nayeli, the Chiricahua woman you loved, the one who died giving birth. You think your son is among these 15 children. That is why you took them, not for money, for blood. How do you know that? Because I remember you talking about her, back when we rode together, before you became a monster. Silas's face twisted. I am not a monster. I am a father looking for his son. You burned a village to find him. I did what I had to do. And now, if you kill us, you kill him too. Because he is right here, one of these 15. Silas looked at the children. Really looked. Like he was seeing them for the first time. Which one? He asked, voice shaking now. Before I could answer, Dakota stepped forward, pointed to another boy, 14 years old, thin, frightened, a birthmark shaped like a crescent moon behind his right ear. Him, Dakota said. His name is Kino. Silas dismounted, walked forward slowly, staring at the boy like he was looking at a ghost. Kino stood frozen, then whispered, Are you my father? Silas knelt, reached out, touched the boy's face with shaking hands. You have your mother's eyes. I do not remember my mother. She was beautiful, she was kind, and she loved you more than life. Then why did you burn villages looking for me? Why did you hurt people? Silas had no answer, just tears running down his scarred face. Then, behind him, one of his men stepped forward. Younger, maybe 26, cold eyes. Boss, we cannot stop now. We have killed too many people. If we let them go, they will report us. We will hang. Colt, I found my son. We are done. No, Colt raised his gun. We are not. He fired. Not at me, not at the women, at Silas. The bullet took Silas in the back. He fell forward. Kino screamed. Colt turned to the other men. Kill them all. No witnesses. And that is when hell opened up. The first shot split the dawn like a crack in the world. Colt's bullet took Silas in the spine, and the old man went down hard, face first, into the dust. Kino dropped beside him, hands pressed against the wound, blood welling up between his fingers like a spring nobody asked for. I did not think, just moved, grabbed Shyla and threw us both behind a boulder as the air filled with lead. The sound was deafening. 30 men firing at once sounds like the sky tearing apart. Tallulah was already in motion. She had kept her position in the rocks above the fort, and now her rifle sang. One shot, one body dropping from a horse, 2 shots, another man clutching his throat. She did not waste bullets. Every pull of the trigger was a life ending. Elu fired arrows from the opposite ridge. Silent death. A man reaching for his rifle suddenly had a shaft through his wrist. Another turned to run and took one between the shoulder blades. She moved like smoke, repositioning after every shot so they could not pin her location. Nita and Mika had the children. They were herding them toward the horses, bodies low, using the terrain for cover. A bullet kicked up dirt near Mika's foot. She did not slow down, just kept pushing the children forward, her voice steady even though her hands shook. I fired back, counted shots, 6 bullets in the rifle, make them count. A man charging forward took one in the chest, dropped. Another trying to flank left caught one in the leg, went down, screaming. Beside me, Shyla reloaded with hands that did not tremble. Her face was stone, no fear, no hesitation, just cold calculation. She fired. A man's hat flew off along with part of his skull. "The horses!" she shouted over the gunfire. "Get the children out! Not without you! I am not asking!" She fired again. "Go!" I ran, zigzagging, bullets snapping past my head like angry wasps. Reached the horses where Nita had 15 children trying to fit on 6 mounts. Impossible math. We would have to double up, triple up. "Put 3 on each horse," I yelled. "Smallest ones in front, bigger ones behind." Dakota was already helping, lifting a 6-year-old girl onto a saddle. The girl was crying silently, tears making clean tracks through the dust on her face. Kai, Mika's daughter, the one who had not spoken in years. A bullet punched through the canteen hanging from my saddle. Water sprayed out, no time to mourn it. I grabbed 2 children and swung them up onto the mare. She snorted, eyes rolling white, but held steady. Garrett appeared from nowhere, the guard I had known from my Crimson Riders days, the one who led us into the fort. He was firing at his former comrades now, face twisted in something between rage and grief. "Jude," he shouted, "take the kids and run. We will hold them." "We?" "Me and your Apache friends. Go." I hesitated for half a second, then nodded, slapped the first horse. It bolted, carrying 3 children south toward safety or death or whatever waited in the desert. The second horse followed, then the third. Nita rode with them, bow across her back, 2 children clinging to her waist. Mika mounted the 4th horse, had 4 children with her, too many. The horse staggered under the weight, but Mika kicked it into a gallop anyway. Her daughter Kai looked back once, met my eyes, still did not speak. That left 1 horse, and 6 children still on the ground. "Go!" Dakota pushed the younger ones toward me. "Take them." "What about you?" "I can run." "Move!" No time to argue. I grabbed the smallest child, a boy maybe 7 years old, put him in the saddle, lifted 3 more up behind him. They clung to each other like drowning swimmers. "Hold on!" I shouted, slapped the horse's flank. It ran. Dakota sprinted after them, fast for a 14-year-old, but not fast enough to outrun a bullet. I saw the rifle come up, saw Colt taking aim at the running boy, saw the finger tightening on the trigger. I fired first, my last bullet, took Colt in the shoulder. He spun, dropped his rifle, cursed words that would make a devil blush. Then my rifle clicked empty. Colt smiled through the pain, drew his pistol. "Your turn to die, traitor." He aimed at my chest. I had nowhere to go, no cover, no weapon, just me and the sand and the bullet that was coming. The shot rang out. I flinched. Waited for the impact. Nothing. I opened my eyes. Colt was on the ground, hole in his forehead, dead before he finished falling. I turned. Shyla stood 30 yards away, rifle still smoking. She nodded once, then went back to firing at the other men. Around us, the battle was turning. 30 men had become 20, then 15. The Crimson Riders were breaking, some trying to flee, others taking cover. Their leader was dead, their purpose shattered. They were just hired guns now, and hired guns do not die for loyalty. "Fall back," someone shouted. "Fall back to the fort." They retreated, a ragged scramble of men more interested in survival than victory. Within minutes, the shooting stopped. The desert went quiet except for the moaning of the wounded and the sound of horses running south carrying precious cargo. I ran to where Silas lay. Keno was still there, covered in his father's blood. The old man was breathing, barely, each breath a wet rattle. "Silas," I said, knelt beside him, "stay with us." His eyes found mine, recognized me through the haze of dying. "Jude, you came back." I did. "To kill me?" "To stop you." He coughed, blood on his lips. "I found him, my son. I finally found him." Keno was crying, silent tears. "I am here, Father. I am here." Silas reached up, touched the boy's face. "You look like her, like your mother. She would be proud." "I do not know her. She was light. I am darkness. You be like her, not like me." Another cough, more blood. "Jude." "Yes." "Take care of him. Promise me." I looked at the boy, 14 years old, whole life ahead of him, and the only father he would ever know was bleeding out in the dirt because he spent 16 years looking for him in all the wrong ways. "I promise," I said. Silas smiled, or tried to. "Good. That is good." His breathing slowed. "Tell him I loved her. Tell him I am sorry. Tell him—" He did not finish. The light went out of his eyes like a candle in wind. Keno bent over the body and sobbed, great heaving sounds like the earth breaking open. Shyla appeared beside me. "We need to move. The rest of them might come back. Give him a minute." "We do not have a minute." "Then make one." I looked up at her. He just watched his father die. He gets a minute. Shyla's jaw tightened, but she nodded. Stood guard while Keno said goodbye to a man he barely knew. Garrett walked over. He was hit. Blood running down his left arm, but he was standing. "Jude, you need to go, now. Those men will regroup. They will come after you with everything they have." "What about you?" "I am staying. Someone needs to bury these bodies. Give you a head start." He looked at the fort, at the dead, scattered across the sand. "Besides, I am tired of running. Been doing it for 10 years. Time to stop. They will kill you. Probably. But at least I will die doing something right." He held out his good hand. I shook it. "You are a good man, Jude. Better than me. Better than Silas. Take care of those kids." "I will." "And Jude? That Apache woman? The one with the rifle? She is something special. Do not screw it up." "I will try." Garrett smiled. "That is all any of us can do." He walked back toward the fort, alone. I watched him go, knew I would never see him again. 3 days later, a rider came from Fort Desolation, brought news that a man named Garrett had been found dead, buried the bodies, set fire to the fort, then shot himself. Left a note that said only, "Finally did something right." I did not go to his funeral. There was not one. No family, no friends, just a grave dug by the rider who found him. But I said a prayer that night. For a man who spent 10 years running from his conscience and one day facing it. Shyla touched my arm. "Jude, we have to move." "I know." We mounted up. Tallulah and Elu came down from their positions. Everyone accounted for except Garrett. 6 of us now. And we had a long ride ahead to catch up with the children. We rode south through country that looked like God had given up halfway through making it. Cracked earth, dead trees reaching toward a sky that offered no mercy, heat that pressed down like a physical weight. By noon, we caught up with the horses. The children were terrified, but alive, clinging to saddles, some crying, some silent, all of them marked by what they had seen. Mika found her daughter Kai, pulled her down from the horse, held her so tight it looked like she was trying to merge their bodies back into one. My baby, you are safe now." Kai did not speak, just held on. Tallulah found Dakota. He was limping, blisters on his feet from running, but alive. She touched his face, checked him for wounds. "You are hurt." "I am fine." "You are limping." I said I am fine, but his voice cracked, the tough 14-year-old facade breaking. "Mother, I was so scared." I know, but you are safe now." She pulled him close. This woman who had seemed made of stone. Now she was just a mother holding her child, and nothing else mattered. Elu found Aita, her 10-year-old daughter, the girl who had not spoken in 5 years. Elu knelt, looked into her daughter's eyes. "Aita, it is me. It is mother." Aita stared. Then, slowly, she raised one hand, pointed at a small yellow flower growing impossibly from a crack in the rocks. "Pretty," she whispered. The word was so quiet I almost missed it. But Elu heard. Her whole body went rigid. Then she started crying. Not sad crying, the kind of crying that comes when something you thought was lost forever suddenly comes home. "Yes," Elu managed through tears. "Yes, baby, it is pretty. It is so pretty." Aita spoke, after 5 years of silence. One word, but it was enough. We rested for an hour, let the horses drink from the last water we had, shared out the remaining food, jerky so hard you could break teeth on it, hardtack that tasted like salted cardboard. The children ate like they had never seen food before. Maybe they had not in 4 days. Kino sat apart from the others, still covered in his father's blood, staring at nothing. I walked over, sat down beside him, said nothing, just sat. After a while he spoke. "Do you think he was a bad man?" "I think he was a man who did bad things. There is a difference." "What difference?" "A bad man does not care who he hurts. Your father cared. He just cared about the wrong thing, about finding you instead of being worthy of you." "I do not understand." "Neither did he. That was his tragedy." I picked up a stone, turned it over in my hand. "Kino, your father asked me to take care of you. I am going to honor that. But you need to know something. I am not a good man either. I have done things that would make you hate me if you knew, but I am trying to be better. That is all I can offer." Kino looked at me. "What did you do?" "I helped burn a village, killed people who did not deserve it, ran away instead of fighting back." I met his eyes. "I was a coward, and cowardice kills just as sure as bullets." "But you came back. Too late for most people, but maybe not too late for you." Kino thought about that, then nodded. "Okay. Okay? You can take care of me, but I want to learn to take care of myself too. Deal." We shook hands. His grip was stronger than I expected. A boy becoming a man in the worst way possible, by watching his father die. Shyla called everyone together. "We cannot go back to our tribe. The army will be looking for us. We killed 23 men today. They will hunt us." "Then where do we go?" Tallulah asked. Everyone looked at me. I did not want that weight, but it was mine to carry. "My ranch," I said. "It is gone. Bank took it. But the land is still there. The house is still there. We can rebuild." 6 women and 15 children? Nita shook her head. "The town will never allow it." "Then we fight them, with law this time, not guns. There are homestead rules. If we work the land for 5 years, it is ours. The bank cannot touch it." "You think they will let Apache live that close to town?" "I think they will not have a choice." I looked at each of them. "But I need to be honest. This will be hard. Harder than what we just did. Because we will be fighting people who smile while they stab you. Politicians, lawyers, good citizens who think we are savages. Can you do that? Can you fight that kind of battle?" Shyla stepped forward. "We have been fighting that battle our whole lives. What is 5 more years? Then it is settled. We go to my ranch. We build a life. And we dare anyone to stop us." We rode through the afternoon, through the night, through the next day. 5 days of hard riding condensed into 3 because we had no choice. Children slept in saddles. Horses walked on legs that trembled. We pushed everything and everyone past their limits. On the 3rd day, we saw it. The ranch, small, weathered, beautiful in its brokenness. And nailed to the door was a sign. "Property of First Bank of Socorro. Trespassers will be prosecuted." I tore the sign down, used it for kindling that night. We slept in the house. All 21 of us, packed tight. Children on blankets on the floor. Women taking the beds. Me on the porch, like always. In the morning, I rode to Socorro, went to see Judge Henry Blackfeather. He was Apache, one of the few who had made it through law school, who had clawed his way into a position of power in a world that wanted him to have none. His office was small, books everywhere, smell of tobacco and old paper. He looked up when I entered, 60 years old, face like carved wood, eyes that had seen every trick and lie the world could offer. "Jude Calhoun," he said, "I heard you died. I got better. I heard you bought 5 Apache women from a slave market. True. I heard you killed 23 Crimson Riders. Also true. And now you want to register land ownership for 6 Apache women, 15 children, and yourself." He leaned back in his chair. "You are either very brave or very stupid. Probably both. The Homestead Act of 1862 requires 5 years of continuous residence and cultivation. You can file, but the town will fight you every step. Let them. They will make your life hell. They already have." Henry smiled, thin, dangerous. "I like you, Jude. You remind me of me 30 years ago, stupid enough to think you can change things." He pulled out papers, started writing. "I will file the claim. You have 5 years. Prove them wrong. Prove me wrong. Build something that lasts." "I will." "Good. Now get out of my office. I have real work to do." I left, rode back to the ranch, told everyone the news. We had 5 years. 5 years to turn dust and dreams into something real. 5 years to prove that broken people could build unbroken things. It would be the hardest thing any of us ever did, but we would do it together. 3 months passed like water through fingers, fast and impossible to hold. We worked from dawn until we could not see anymore. Then we worked by firelight. Jude and Dakota rebuilt the main house, new roof, new porch, walls that did not leak when the rare rain came. The boy learned fast, had his mother's stubborn refusal to quit, and his father's need to prove something to a world that did not care. Shyla and Elu planted a garden, fought the desert for every green thing, squash, corn, beans. They sang while they worked, old Apache songs about rain and growth. The songs did not bring rain, but they brought something else, hope maybe, or memory, or the belief that things could grow even in places designed to kill them. Tallulah taught the older children to hunt, not with rifles, with bows, silent, clean. She said guns made you lazy, made you think killing was easy. A bow made you work for it, made you respect what you took. Nita tracked game, brought back rabbits, once a deer. The meat lasted a week. We thanked the animal, thanked the land, thanked whatever forces kept us alive in a place that wanted us dead. Mika wove cloth, taught the girls. Kai, her daughter, sat beside her every day, still did not talk much, but her hands learned. Threads became fabric, fabric became clothes, clothes became proof that we were building something. Kino stayed close to me, learning, watching. He asked questions about his father. I answered honestly, did not make Silas into a saint, did not make him into a devil, just told the truth. A man who loved wrong and paid for it. "Do you think he would be proud of me?" Kino asked one day while we mended fence. "For what?" "For staying, for helping build this." "I think he would be grateful. Pride is something you earn yourself, not something someone gives you." "Did you earn yours?" "Not yet, but I am trying." We worked in silence after that. Good silence, the kind that comes when you do not need words to understand each other. The town noticed us. Of course they did. 21 people appearing on land the bank thought it owned. Apache people. Brown faces where white faces expected to be. They sent a man first. Bank representative. Suit that cost more than we would make in a year. Smile that did not reach his eyes. "Mr. Calhoun," he said, standing at the property line, like our dirt might contaminate his shoes. "There seems to be a misunderstanding. This land was seized for unpaid debts. You cannot simply occupy it." "I filed a homestead claim," I said. "Judge Blackfeather approved it. We have 5 years to prove residence and cultivation. That is the law." The law was not written for this situation. What situation is that? He gestured at the women working in the garden, at the children running between buildings. You know what situation. Say it. Excuse me? Say what you mean. Stop hiding behind polite words. Say it. His smile vanished. Fine. The law was not meant to let savages squat on American land. Shyla appeared beside me, covered in dirt from planting. Strong, unafraid. This is American land. We are on it. That makes us American. Or does your law work differently? The man's face went red. I will be speaking to the town council. This is not over. No, Shyla said. It is just beginning. He left. We kept working. 2 weeks later, they called a town meeting, required attendance for all property disputes. I went. Shyla went with me. We walked into that hall and every conversation stopped, 50 people staring at us like we had crawled out of the ground. The mayor stood, fat man, red face, voice like gravel in a can. We are here to discuss the illegal occupation of the former Calhoun property by Mr. Calhoun and his Apache companions. Not companions, Shyla said. Partners, co-owners. The claim is filed in all our names. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Shock, anger, fear, maybe. That is irregular, the mayor said. That is legal, Judge Henry Blackfeather said from the back. I checked. Homestead Act allows joint filing. Gender and race are not specified as disqualifiers. But surely the spirit of the law is that people who work land get to keep it. These people are working. What is your objection specifically? The mayor sputtered. Then a woman stood, older, gray hair, eyes like chips of ice. My objection is safety. We do not know these people. They could be dangerous. Dangerous how? I asked. You killed 23 men. 23 men who were kidnapping children and selling them as slaves. If that makes me dangerous, I will wear the label proudly. But how do we know you will not turn on us? Shyla stood. Because we have 15 children to raise, because we have crops to tend, because we are too tired from working to plot against you. She looked around the room. You are afraid of us, I understand. You have been taught to be afraid. But we are not your enemy. We just want to live, same as you. Silence, long and heavy. Then a man in the back stood, older, weathered, rancher by the look of him. I have a question. You got those children back from the Crimson Riders. That took guts. More guts than most men in this room have. You planning to work that land for 5 years? Yes, I said. You planning to pay taxes? Contribute to the community? Be neighbors instead of strangers? Yes. And the old rancher looked around the room. Then I say, let them try. 5 years will prove it one way or another. If they make it work, they earned it. If they fail, the bank gets the land back anyway. What do we lose by letting them try? More silence. Then another voice. I agree. Then another. Let them try. The mayor looked around, saw he was losing. Very well. We will vote. All in favor of allowing the homestead claim to proceed? Hands went up. Not all of them. Maybe 40%. But enough. All opposed? More hands. Maybe 50%. It was close. Judge Blackfeather stood. In cases of split vote, the presiding judge has final authority. I vote to allow the claim. You have 5 years, Mr. Calhoun. Make them count. We left that meeting knowing we had won a battle, but not the war. The town would watch us, wait for us to fail, look for any excuse to take the land back. We would not give them one. 6 months in, Tallulah came to me. We need to talk. About what? About Takota. He wants you to teach him to shoot. I thought you were teaching him the bow. I am. But he says he needs to know guns too. Says if more men like the Crimson Riders come, he wants to protect his family. I looked across the yard where Takota was chopping wood. 14 years old, growing fast, shoulders getting broader, hands getting harder. What do you think? I think he is right. I hate it. But he is right. Tallulah crossed her arms. Will you teach him? If you want me to. I do not want anyone to teach my son to kill, but better you than someone who will teach him to hate while doing it. So I taught him. Started with safety. How to hold a weapon. How to clean it. How to respect what it could do. Took 2 weeks before I let him fire a single shot. When he finally did, the bullet went wide. Hit dirt 20 feet from the target. I missed, he said. Yes, you will miss a lot. That is part of learning. My father never missed. Your father had 20 years of practice. You have 20 minutes. Be patient. We practiced every day. By month 3, he could hit a bottle at 50 yards. By month 6, he could do it with wind blowing and sun in his eyes. He was good, maybe too good. Dakota, I said one day after practice, you know you might never need this skill, right? We are trying to build a place where guns are not necessary. I know, but if we fail, I want to be ready. Fair enough. Just remember, every time you pick up a gun, you are choosing what kind of man you want to be. Choose carefully. I will. A year in, Elu found me in the barn. Jude, thank you. For what? For Aida. She speaks now. Not a lot, but some. She told me yesterday that she remembers you. From the cellar. 5 years ago. My stomach went cold. What did she say? She said a man with sad eyes closed the door. She thought he was locking her in to die. But now she understands. You were keeping the smoke out. I almost killed her. But you did not. You made a choice in the middle of chaos. You chose to try to save a child even though you did not know if it would work. That matters. Does she hate me? No. She drew a picture of you, gave it to me, said to give it to you. Elu handed me a piece of paper, rough sketch, a man closing a door, and on the other side of the door, a little girl, safe. I folded the paper, put it in my pocket, could not speak. Elu put a hand on my shoulder. You are a good man, Jude Calhoun. You just do not believe it yet. She left. I stood in the barn, holding a picture drawn by a child I almost killed, saved by accident or providence or dumb luck. Did it matter which? A year and a half in, Nita came to me. Someone is watching us. Who? I do not know, but I see tracks, always at the property line, never closer, like they are studying us. How many? 1 person, maybe 2. Light step. Careful. Could be the bank, making sure we are really working the land. Could be, or could be something else. We increased watches at night, took turns. Nothing happened for 2 weeks. Then, one night, I was on watch when I heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. I stood, rifle ready. Show yourself. A figure stepped into the firelight. Man, maybe 60. Apache, dressed in mix of traditional and settler clothes, face I almost recognized. You are Jude Calhoun, he said. Yes. Who are you? My name is Winter Crow. I knew Ayanna, Shyla's mother. She was my sister. Then you are Shyla's uncle. Yes, I have been watching your ranch, seeing if you are what you claim to be. And what do I claim to be? A man trying to make amends, a man helping my niece and her family survive. He stepped closer. I came to see if it is true, or if you are using them. It is true. Prove it. I gestured to the ranch, buildings we had built, garden growing, children sleeping safe. This is the proof. We work together, share everything. I own nothing they do not own. We survive together or fail together. Winter Crow studied me, then nodded. My sister saw something in you worth saving. I did not understand. Now I do. He turned to leave, then paused. There are others like me, Apache who lost family in the massacres. They watch this place, waiting to see if it is real or another white man's lie. Show them it is real. Make my sister's sacrifice mean something. I will try. That is all any of us can do. He disappeared into the darkness. I never saw him again, but sometimes I would find things. A deer already gutted and ready to butcher. Firewood stacked by the barn. Small helps from unseen hands. We were not alone, even when we thought we were. 2 years in, the ranch had a name. Shyla chose it. Standing on the porch at sunrise, watching the light spread across the land we had broken and planted and watered with sweat and hope. "We should call it Morning House," she said. "Why?" "Because every morning we wake up we are still here, still fighting, still building. The morning is when you decide if you are going to try again or give up. We try again every morning." So it became Morning House Ranch. We carved the name into a board, hung it over the gate, dared the world to tear it down. 2.5 years in, I asked Sheila a question I had been carrying for months. We were alone, rare moment. Children in bed, others doing evening chores, just us on the porch watching stars come out. "Sheila, can I ask you something?" "Yes." "Do you still hate me?" She was quiet for a long time. "I do not know?" "Some days, yes, some days, no. Most days, I do not think about it. I am too busy living to spend time hating." "That is not really an answer." "It is the only answer I have." She looked at me. "You want me to forgive you, to say the debt is paid, but I cannot give you that, because forgiveness is not mine to give. It belongs to the people who died, and they are not here to grant it." "Then what am I working toward?" "Not forgiveness, something better. You are working toward becoming the kind of man who does not need forgiveness, who makes choices that do not require it. You are not there yet, but you are closer than you were." "Is that enough?" "It has to be, because it is all any of us get." We sat in silence. Her hand was on the railing, close to mine, not touching, but close. I did not reach for it. Not yet. But someday, maybe, if I kept trying, if I kept building, if I kept choosing morning over darkness, maybe someday I would be worthy of reaching. But not today. Today I just sat beside a woman who had every reason to hate me and chose instead to build something with me. That would have to be enough. 3 years into building Morning House Ranch, trouble came riding in on a horse worth more than everything we owned. Federal Marshal, badge gleaming like a promise of violence. 2 deputies behind him, all 3 armed like they expected war. I was mending fence when they arrived, saw the dust cloud first, then the riders, knew immediately this was not a social call. Sheila appeared beside me. "Trouble." "Yes." "What do we do?" "We stand our ground. We have done nothing wrong." "Since when does that matter?" The marshal stopped his horse at the property line. Did not cross. That was a good sign. Meant he respected boundaries, or at least feared what crossing them might cost. "Jude Calhoun," he called. "That is me." "I am Marshal Thomas Brennan. I need to ask you some questions about an incident 3 years ago, the death of 23 men at Fort Desolation." My blood went cold. 3 years, I thought that was buried. Dead and done. Should have known better. The past never stays buried. It just waits. "What about it?" I asked. "There are people asking questions. Families of the dead men. They want to know what happened. Who is responsible?" "The men who died were Crimson Riders. They were kidnapping children. We stopped them. That is what happened." "We?" I gestured to the ranch, to the women working in the garden, to the children playing in the yard. "All of us. We went to get the children back. The riders attacked. We defended ourselves." 23 dead is a lot of self-defense. 15 children is a lot of kidnapping. The marshal smiled, thin, not friendly. "I like you, Calhoun. You do not dance around words, so I will not either. There is pressure from Washington to investigate this. The Crimson Riders had connections, money, friends in government. Those friends want someone to hang for what happened. Then they can hang the memory of Silas Drummond. He was the one who started it. Drummond is dead. You are alive. That makes you convenient." Sheila stepped forward. "What do you want, Marshal?" He looked at her, really looked, saw the strength in her stance, the readiness in her eyes. "I want the truth, all of it, from the beginning." "Why?" "Because if I am going to ignore orders from Washington and bury this investigation, I need to know I am protecting the right people." He dismounted, walked to the fence line, still did not cross. "Tell me everything. Leave nothing out. Then I will decide." So we did. All 6 of us took turns, told the story of the slave market, the purchase, the journey, the children, the fort, the battle, every detail. Did not try to make ourselves look good. Just told what happened. The marshal listened, took notes, asked questions. His face gave nothing away. When we finished, he was quiet for a long time. Then he closed his notebook. You know what I think? What? I think you did what needed doing. I think those writers got exactly what they deserved. And I think Washington can go to hell if they want to punish you for it. He looked at his deputies. You two hear anything here today? No, sir, they said in unison. Good. Neither did I. He mounted his horse. Calhoun, you keep building this place. Keep those kids safe. If anyone else comes asking questions, you send them to me. I will handle it. Why are you helping us? Because 20 years ago my daughter was taken by slavers. I never found her, never got her back. You got 15 children back. That means something. He tipped his hat. Good luck to you all. They rode away, left us standing in the dust, hearts still pounding, hands still shaking. That was close, Tallulah said. Too close, Nita agreed, but Shyla was smiling. We survived. Again. That is what matters. 3.5 years in, Dakota came to me with a question I had been dreading. Jude, there is a girl in town. Her name is Mary. She smiled at me last week when I went to buy nails. Oh, that kind of question. Go on, I said. I want to talk to her, but I do not know if I should. Why not? Because I am Apache. She is white. People will not like it. I set down the hammer I was holding, sat on the fence rail. You are right. Some people will not like it. Some people will hate it. They will say things, mean things, things designed to hurt. So I should not do it? I did not say that. I said people will not like it, but their liking is not required for you to live your life. I looked at him, 15 now, almost a man. Dakota, you are going to face hate your whole life for being Apache, for living here, for existing in a world that wishes you did not. You can let that hate stop you from living, or you can live anyway. Which kind of man do you want to be? He thought about that. The kind who lives anyway. Then go talk to her. Be respectful. Be honest. And if she says no, respect that too. But do not let fear make your choices for you. He went to town the next week, came back grinning. She said yes, to a walk, just a walk. Good. When? Sunday. Do you need advice? Did you ever court anyone? I married my wife 20 years ago. Courting was different then, but the basics are the same. Listen more than you talk. Be yourself. Do not pretend to be someone you are not. But what if she does not like who I am? Then she is not the right person. But you will not know until you try. Sunday came. Dakota wore his best shirt, the one Mika had made. Clean, pressed. He looked terrified. You will be fine, Tallulah told him. She was trying not to cry. Her baby was growing up, becoming a man in front of her eyes. He left, came back 3 hours later, still grinning. How did it go? I asked. Good, really good. We talked about everything. She wants to see me again. Then you will see her again. Over the next 6 months, Dakota and Mary courted, properly, walked together, talked. He met her parents. That did not go well at first. Her father was a shopkeeper, did not approve of his daughter spending time with an Apache boy. But Mary was stubborn, told her father that Dakota was kind and smart and hard-working, that he treated her with respect, that he made her happy. Eventually, her father relented, not because he stopped being prejudiced, but because he loved his daughter more than he hated us. Small victory, but we took it. 4 years in, Elu came to me with news that changed everything. Jude, I am going to have a baby. I stared. What? A baby? I am pregnant. But you are not married. No, I am not. Her face was calm, settled, like she had already fought this battle in her head and won. There is a man in town, a good man. He asked me to marry him. I said yes. Who? His name is Samuel. He runs the general store. He is kind, patient. He does not care that I am Apache. He does not care that Aita is not his daughter. He wants us anyway. Does he know about your past? About Marcus? I told him everything. He said the past is past. He wants to build a future. She looked at me. I wanted to tell you first, because you saved Aita, because you gave us a place to start over. I wanted your blessing. You do not need my blessing, Elu. This is your life, but you have it anyway. I hope you will be happy. We will visit, often. This is still home, always. The wedding was small, held at Mourning House because the church in town would not allow it. Apache woman marrying white man was still too much for some people. But we did not need their church. We had open sky. We had family. That was enough. Aida was flower girl, walked down the aisle scattering petals, smiling, talking now in full sentences. The girl who had been silent for 5 years was chattering about how pretty everything was. Miracles are small sometimes, but no less real. 4.5 years in, Kino asked me a question that broke my heart. Jude, do you think my father would have been a good man if he had found me sooner? We were working on the new barn, just the two of us. He was 16 now, strong, capable. Nothing like the scared boy I had met at Fort Desolation. I do not know, I said honestly. Maybe. Or maybe finding you would have just given him a different reason to be violent. Some men are broken in ways that cannot be fixed by getting what they want. Was he broken? Yes, but not beyond all repair. He loved your mother. He loved you. That love was real. He just did not know how to let it make him better instead of worse. Do you think I am like him? No, you are like your mother, like Nayeli. I never met her, but Silas described her once. Said she was light and kindness and everything good he was not. You have that in you. I see it every day. What if the darkness is there too? What if I am just hiding it? Then you keep hiding it. You bury it so deep it never sees sun, and you fill the space it would occupy with good things, with work, with love, with choices that make you proud instead of ashamed. I stopped hammering, looked at him. Kino, you get to decide who you are. Your father does not get a vote. The past does not get a vote. Only you. Choose well. I will try. That is all any of us can do. 4 years and 9 months in, Nita came to me with worry written all over her face. The town council is meeting again, about us. That night, Nita came to me, face pale, hands shaking. Jude, I need to confess something, before the town finds out and uses it against us. What is it? She took a breath. My husband, the one who betrayed our village for $50, he is not dead. I went cold. What? He is alive, living in Socorro. I saw him 2 weeks ago. He recognized me. Did he say anything? No, but he knows where we are, knows what we have built. And if the town finds out I'm married to a traitor who is still alive, they can use it. Say I am harboring a criminal. Take the land. What do you want to do? I want to face him, legally. File for divorce in front of Judge Blackfeather. Make it official that I am not his wife anymore. That Cale is mine, not his. Her voice broke. But I am afraid. What if he fights me? What if he claims Cale? Then we fight back. Together. We went to Judge Henry the next day. Filed the papers. Nita's husband showed up. Tried to claim Cale. Said a boy belonged with his father. Judge Henry looked at him with eyes like ice. Where were you when your son was kidnapped? When he was being dragged to Mexico to be sold? Where were you when this woman risked her life to save him? I did not know. You did not care. That is different. Henry signed the divorce papers. Cale stays with his mother. You have no claim. If you approach this family again, I will have you arrested for harassment. Leave, now. The man left. Nita stood there free for the first time in 15 years. What now? They say we have not paid enough taxes, that we are using more than our share of water, that we are a burden on the community. That is lies. We pay every cent we owe, and we have our own well. We do not use town water. I know, but they do not care about truth. They care about finding reasons to take the land back before the 5 years are up. 3 months. We had 3 months left until the homestead claim was permanent, and they were going to try one last time. to break us. Get everyone together, I said. We are going to that meeting. All of us. The town hall was packed. Everyone in Socorro had come to watch. We walked in. All 21 of us, women, children, me, took up half the room just standing there. The mayor banged his gavel. Order, order. We are here to discuss the tax delinquency of Morning House Ranch. We are not delinquent, I said. We paid every bill, on time. I have receipts. The receipts are disputed. By who? The town clerk says there are discrepancies. The town clerk stood, nervous little man with ink-stained fingers. I have no record of payment for the last 6 months. I pulled papers from my coat. Here, receipts, signed by you, dated, witnessed. Unless you are saying you forged your own signature. The clerk went pale. I must have made an error in the ledger. Convenient error, Shyla said. Right before our 5-year mark. The mayor banged his gavel again. Regardless, there is still the matter of water usage. We have our own well, Tallulah said. We do not touch town water. But the aquifer is shared. Your well draws from the same source. You are depleting the resource. Judge Henry Blackfeather stood from the back. Do you have proof of depletion, measurements, data, or are you just making accusations? Well, no, but nothing. You are grasping at straws because these people are about to succeed where you wanted them to fail. And that embarrasses you. Henry walked forward. I have reviewed the homestead claim. It is in order. All requirements met. In 3 months, Morning House Ranch will be theirs, permanently, and there is nothing you can do about it. We will see about that, the mayor said. Yes, we will. Henry looked around the room. I am placing this on record. Any further harassment of Morning House Ranch will be considered obstruction of federal homestead law. I will personally prosecute anyone who interferes. Am I clear? Silence, then slow nods. We left that meeting knowing the fight was not over, but we had won another battle, and we only needed to survive 3 more months. 3 more months, that was all. 5 years to the day after we filed the claim, Judge Henry Blackfeather came to the ranch. Official visit, papers in hand. Jude Calhoun, Shyla, Tallulah, Elu, Nita, Mika, I am here to inform you that your homestead claim has been fulfilled. As of today, Morning House Ranch is yours, legally, permanently. No one can take it from you. We did not cheer, did not celebrate loudly, just stood there letting it sink in. 5 years. We had done it. Henry handed me the deed. You proved me wrong, Jude. I thought you would fail, thought the town would break you, but you held. You and these remarkable women built something real. I am proud of you. Thank you. Do not thank me. Thank them. He gestured to Shyla and the others. They are the ones who made this possible. You just had the good sense to follow their lead. He left. We stood in the yard, holding the deed, proof that we existed, that we mattered, that we had earned our place. That night, we had a quiet gathering. Nothing fancy, just food and fire and family. The children ran wild, laughing, free, safe. Dakota sat with Mary. They were engaged now, planning a wedding in the spring. Her father had come around, even smiled at Dakota sometimes. Keno was courting a girl from town too, quiet girl, kind. She did not care that his father had been Silas Drummond, only cared who Keno was, and he was good. Aida sang. Her voice had gotten beautiful, clear and strong. She sang Apache songs her mother taught her, songs about home and family and belonging. I sat on the porch, watching. Sheila came and sat beside me. We did it, she said. You did it. I just helped. And then you did more than help. You gave us a chance, a place to start. Your mother gave me a life I did not deserve. I tried to use it for something good. You did. She was quiet for a moment. Jude, I need to tell you something. What? I do not hate you anymore. I have not for a long time. I'm not sure when it stopped, but it did. That is good. Is it? I thought hating you was what kept me strong. Turned out building something was stronger than hating something. What are you saying? She turned to look at me. I am saying I have watched you for 5 years. Watched you work until your hands bled. Watched you teach Dakota and Kino. Watched you build this place not for yourself, but for all of us. And I have decided something. What? That you are not the man who led soldiers to my village. You are the man who saved 15 children. The man who spent everything he had to buy 5 women he did not know. The man who chose morning after morning to be better than he was. She took my hand. First time she had done that in 5 years. I have decided you are a good man, and I would like to see where that goes. I could not speak, just held her hand. Rough and calloused from work, beautiful because of it. I do not know how to be what you need, I finally said. Neither do I, but we can learn together. We have been building a ranch together for 5 years. How hard can building something else be? Harder, probably, but worth trying. We sat there, hand in hand, watching our family, the one we built from broken pieces and stubborn hope. The fire burned low. Children started falling asleep. One by one, people drifted off to bed, until it was just us on the porch. Jude, Shyla said quietly, my mother saved you for a reason. I think this was it. Not just to save the children, but to save all of us, including yourself. I am not saved yet. None of us are, but we are better than we were, and that is enough. The stars came out, thick and bright. Sarah used to say the stars were all the people who died with words left unsaid. Maybe she was right, but maybe they were also the people who lived long enough to say everything they needed to. I did not know which we would be, but I knew we would find out together. 7 years after we filed the homestead claim, 2 years after it became permanent, Morning House Ranch had grown into something none of us could have imagined. 4 houses now instead of 1, built for the children as they grew older, needed their own space, needed to become adults instead of staying children forever. The garden had expanded, 3 acres of vegetables. Fruit trees we planted year 1 were bearing now, apples, pears, peaches that tasted like sunshine. We had cattle, 20 head, enough to sell a few each year for income, enough to keep us fed. The herd was growing, slowly but steady. Dakota and Mary had married, built a small house on the eastern edge of the property. They had a daughter now, little Sarah, named after my wife, the one I lost, Mary had insisted. Said it was important to remember where we came from. The baby was beautiful, dark hair like her father, blue eyes like her mother, perfect mix of 2 worlds that were learning to exist together. Kino had married too. His wife Clara was pregnant, due any day. He was terrified and excited in equal measure, kept asking me for advice about being a father. I told him the same thing every time. Love her, protect her, teach her to be better than you. That is all you can do. What if I fail? Then you try again tomorrow. Being a father is not about being perfect. It is about showing up every day and trying. Aida was 17 now, beautiful, confident, studying to be a teacher. She wanted to start a school at Morning House. Teach Apache and white children together, break down walls through education. I thought it was a good idea. The town thought it was radical. But Aida did not care what they thought. She had her mother's stubbornness and her voice. That voice that had been silent for 5 years was now leading the charge for change. Kai was 13, Mika's daughter, still quiet, but not silent. She drew beautiful pictures, landscapes, people, animals. Her art was starting to sell in town. People wanted it. Did not care that an Apache girl made it, just cared that it was beautiful. Beauty has a way of crossing boundaries that words cannot. The ranch employed 10 people now, mix of Apache and white, young men and women looking for work, looking for a place that judged them on effort instead of skin color. It was not perfect. There were still fights, still prejudice, still moments when someone said something cruel, and we had to decide how to respond, but it was better than it had been. And better was all we could ask for. I was 43 now, hair going gray at the temples, back aching some mornings, hands scarred from 7 years of hard work, but alive, more alive than I had been in the 10 years before this. Shyla was 49, lines around her eyes, gray threading through her black hair, beautiful in a way that had nothing to do with youth and everything to do with strength. We had married 2 years ago, quiet ceremony, just family. Judge Henry Blackfeather officiated, said it was the best wedding he had ever performed because it was proof that people could choose each other despite everything the world threw at them. We lived in the main house, the one we built first, repaired and expanded over the years. It was home, real home, not just a building, but a feeling. Some mornings I would wake up and not remember where I was, would panic for a second, think I was back in the old ranch, the one where Sarah and Thomas died, where I drank myself into oblivion every night trying to forget. Then Sheila would move beside me, her breathing steady and sure, and I would remember. This was different. This was real. This was earned. On a morning in early spring, 7 years and 3 months after we started, Shyla shook me awake before dawn. "Jude, Clara is in labor. Keno is panicking. We need you." I dressed fast, ran to Keno's house, found him pacing outside like a caged animal. "Jude, I do not know what to do. She is in pain. I cannot help her." "You cannot stop the pain, but you can be there for her. That is what she needs." "What if something goes wrong?" "Then we handle it, but do not borrow trouble. Go be with your wife." He went inside. I stayed outside with Tallulah and Mika. They were helping, had delivered babies before, knew what to do. The sun came up, slow and red, painting the sky in colors that looked like hope. Inside, a baby cried. Keno came out an hour later, face wet with tears. "A boy. We have a boy. Congratulations. We are naming him Silas, after my father, but we are going to make sure he becomes the man his grandfather should have been." That is a good plan. I went inside, saw Clara holding the baby, exhausted but glowing, the kind of tired that comes from doing something hard and important and worth it. The baby was tiny, wrinkled, perfect. He looked like every baby I had ever seen and like no baby that had ever existed, magic and normal all at once. "Do you want to hold him?" Clara asked. "Yes." She handed him to me, light as air, heavy as the world. I looked down at this tiny person who had no idea what he was born into. No idea that his grandfather had burned villages, that his adopted grandfather had led soldiers to massacre. This baby just was, pure and clean, and full of possibility. "Hello, Silas," I said quietly. "You are going to do great things. You are going to be better than all of us. I promise." The baby made a soft murmur, not quite a cry, just a noise that said, "I am here. I exist. I matter." "Yes, you do," I whispered. "Yes, you do." That afternoon, the whole ranch gathered, celebrating new life, children running, adults talking, food cooking, laughter everywhere. I stood back, watching, trying to memorize this moment, because moments like this do not last. They are fireflies, beautiful and brief. Judge Henry Blackfeather arrived, unexpected visit, but welcome. "Henry, what brings you here?" "News. Thought you should hear it from me." He looked around at the gathering. "The town council voted this morning. Winter Crow came to the celebration. First time I had seen him since that night 3 years ago. He was older, grayer, but his eyes were still sharp. "You did well," he said. "My sister would be proud." "Thank you. I am leaving, going north, but I wanted to see this first, wanted to know it was real." He looked around at the ranch, at the children, at the life we had built. "It is real. You made it real." He left before sunrise. I never saw him again, but sometimes in winter I would find tracks near the property line, and I knew he was still watching, still checking, still making sure his sister's sacrifice had not been wasted. They are officially recognizing Morning House Ranch as a community asset. You will be included in all town planning, given a voice in decisions, full citizenship. No more fighting. I stared. Why now? Because Aida's school proposal got approved. They realized if they are going to have Apache children in town schools, they need Apache voices in town government. Progress is slow, but it is real. That is good news. It is, but there is more. He pulled out a paper. The federal government is investigating the Homestead Act, looking at success stories. Your ranch is one of 3 in the entire Southwest they are highlighting. They want to use you as an example, proof the system works. They want to use us for propaganda. Yes, but that propaganda helps other people, other Apache, other minorities trying to claim land. Your success makes their path easier. Will you do it? I looked at Shyla. She had heard the whole thing. She nodded. We will do it, I said, but on one condition. They tell the whole truth, not just the pretty parts. They tell about the slave market, the massacre, the 5 years of fighting, all of it, or we do not participate. Fair enough. I will make sure they know. Henry stayed for the celebration, ate with us, told stories, laughed. For a few hours, he was not a judge, just a man enjoying good company. As the sun set, painting the sky in oranges and purples, I found myself on the porch again. Same spot I had sat 7 years ago when this all started. Shyla joined me, always did, our evening ritual. What are you thinking? She asked. That I should be dead. That I deserved to die 7 years ago, but your mother gave me another chance, and I used it to build this, to build us. And I am grateful. You did not just build it. You earned it. Every day, every choice. You earned the right to be here. Do you really believe that? I do. I did not always, but I do now. She took my hand. Jude, I need to tell you something. What? I am pregnant. The world stopped, just for a second. Everything went quiet and still. What did you say? I am pregnant. The world stopped, just for a second. Everything went quiet and still. What did you say? I am pregnant. I am 46 years old. The midwife said, it is rare but possible. A last gift, she called it. Are you sure? Mika confirmed it. I am 3 months along. I did not know what to say. Sarah and I had tried for more children after Thomas. Never happened. I thought that part of my life was over, done, finished. But here it was again. New life, new chance, new beginning. How do you feel about it? I asked. Terrified, excited, old, too old, but also right, like this is meant to happen. She looked at me. How do you feel? The same, all of it. Good. Then we will be terrified together. We sat there, holding hands, watching the sky turn dark, watching stars come out one by one. 6 months later, on a cold November morning, Shyla gave birth to a daughter. We named her Ayanna, after Sheila's mother, after the woman who saved me, who started this whole impossible journey. The baby looked like Sheila, dark hair, strong features, eyes that already seemed to see too much, but she had my nose, my stubborn chin, perfect mix. Like everything we had built, 10 years after we started. The ranch was thriving, more than surviving, actually thriving. Aida's school had 40 students now, Apache and white, learning together, fighting sometimes. But learning that fighting did not have to end in hate. Dakota and Mary had 3 children, working the eastern section of the ranch, building their own legacy. Keno and Clara had 2 boys, little Silas and baby Marcus, named after Clara's father, building their life on the northern edge. The main house held Shyla and me and little Ayanna, now 3 years old, running wild, fearless, exactly like her grandmother. Tallulah had remarried, a good man from town, widower with 2 children of his own, blending families, making new traditions. Mika had opened a weaving shop in town, selling her goods, teaching others, making enough money to be independent, proud. Nita had become the ranch foreman, best tracker in 3 counties. People paid for her skills now, respected her expertise. Elu and Samuel had 2 children, living in town but visiting every week, part of the family still. Always. Morning House Ranch was not just a place anymore. It was an idea. Proof that broken people could build unbroken things, that the past did not define the future, that choosing to be better was enough. On a spring morning, 10 years and 2 months after we filed the claim, I woke up before dawn. Old habit. Could not sleep past sunrise anymore. I walked outside, stood in the yard, looked at everything we had built. 4 houses, 3 barns, gardens, corrals, fences that stretched farther than I could see in the dim light. And in the main house, my wife, my daughter, my family. I thought about Sarah, about Thomas, about the life I lost 20 years ago, wondered what they would think of this, of me. I hoped they would be proud, hoped they would understand, hoped they would know I never stopped loving them, just learned to love again despite the grief. Behind me, the door opened. Shyla came out, wrapped in a blanket against the morning chill. Ayanna on her hip, still half asleep. "You are up early," Sheila said. "Could not sleep." "Bad dreams?" "No, good ones actually. That is what woke me. Not used to them," she smiled, kissed my cheek. "Get used to it. We are not going anywhere." Little Ayanna reached for me. "Papa, up." I took her, held her against my chest. She was warm and solid and real. "Papa, tell story." "What story?" "How we got here." Shyla and I looked at each other. Had we told her? Must have. 3-year-olds do not make up questions like that. "Okay," I said. "Once upon a time there was a man who made terrible mistakes. He hurt people, led bad men to do bad things, and he thought he could never be forgiven, never be good again." "What happened?" Ayanna asked. "A woman saved him. Even though he did not deserve it, she pulled him from a fire, gave him a second chance. Then she died. And the man spent 5 years running from what he had done." "That is sad." Yes, it was. But then one day, the man went to a town called Dust Ford, and he saw 5 women who needed help. And he remembered the woman who saved him, and he decided to use his second chance to give them a second chance too. And then they worked together, built a home, saved children, fought bad people, fought good people who did not understand, fought the land, fought themselves, and slowly, piece by piece, they built something good. And they lived happy ever after? I looked at Shyla, at the ranch, at everything we had made from dust and hope and stubborn refusal to give up. "Yes," I said, "they lived happy ever after, not perfect, but happy." And that was enough. Ayanna smiled, snuggled against me. "I like that story." "Me too, baby, me too." The sun broke over the eastern ridge, light spilling across Morning House Ranch like a blessing, like a promise that today we would try again, build again, choose again. And in choosing, we would make the story true, not once upon a time, but now, always now. Shyla put her arm around me. We stood there, family, complete. The debt was paid. The work was done. The life was built, and it was good. It was finally, truly good. The end. 2 years later, I died. 45 years old. Heart gave out while mending fence on a Tuesday afternoon. Quick, no pain, just here one moment, gone the next. They buried me under the oak tree Shyla and I planted year 1. Said it was fitting. The tree I watered with my own hands would shade my rest. Shyla lived another 12 years, raised Ayanna, saw grandchildren from Takota and Kino and all the others. Saw the ranch grow to 200 acres, saw Aita's school become 3 schools, saw the world change slowly, too slowly, but change nonetheless. When she died, they buried her next to me, under the same oak, now massive, branches spreading like arms, welcoming everyone home. The headstone was simple, 2 names, 2 dates, and 1 sentence. They chose each other, and that made all the difference. Morning House Ranch still exists, run by the 5th generation now, great-great-grandchildren of the 15 children we saved. Great-great-grandchildren of Silas Drummond and Jude Calhoun and 5 Apache women who refused to die quietly. They tell our story still, around fires, in schools, to anyone who will listen, not as legend, but as truth. The truth that broken people can build unbroken things, that debt can be repaid through living well. That morning always comes if you survive the night, and survival, it turns out, is the beginning of everything.